So we just spent some time talking about still lifes, and you are going to have a choice today of doing a drawing of a different type of fruit still life. So there are apples and an orange and a banana around the room, and at that table that you decide to go to, you will find a complementary colored paper. So what that means is the apple is mostly red, the complement is across the color wheel, so we're going to use a green paper. So they're opposites. Just kind of helps to get a nice colored background when you're doing a drawing like this, and really allows the drawing to pop. So for my example, I am going to do a yellow banana. So if we look at the color wheel, what is across from yellow? Awesome, purple is the complement. So I'm actually going to draw this banana on purple paper. So when you're at the table, you really should not have to touch that fruit at all. I'm going to position it so you can kind of see it on the video. And depending on what you're drawing, you could have your paper long, or horizontal, or tall, vertical. So the banana's long. I'm going to draw it long. And what I'm going to try to do is spend a lot of time looking at the banana and not looking at my paper. This is tricky. I am using a white crayon so that you can see in the video what I'm drawing, but I would use a pencil. You can erase that easier and you will be able to kind of see the pencil better at your table. So I'm really focusing on just drawing what I see, trying to get it drawn the right size, the right width, and I do see a little bump on that banana as well. Is it perfect? No. If you have mistakes, feel free to erase. I'm going to kind of erase this part. I wasn't happy with that. I'm noticing that that stem is a little bit skinnier and then it really comes out. So at this point I have a very much floating banana. So just to make it look like it's sitting on a table, I'm going to put a line on it. And that line is touching the banana and stopping. And it's going to start on the other side. Then it looks like it's actually sitting on the table. So bananas are mostly yellow. But when I look at this banana, I see yellow, I see orange, I even see a little bit of green. I might have some brown in it. So I'm just pulling out these colors and I'm going to start. So as I add color onto the purple paper, you can still see purple through it. So I'm trying to color it in. A little bit of purple's not a bad thing. And I'm going to be mixing today into the oranges and maybe even into the greens. As I get up here, it's looking a little bit green. Doesn't mean it's going to be all green. I'm just layering these colors. There will be times where I'm going to want to smear with my finger. The apple took me quite a while because I was really just going back and forth between all those colors, trying to get them to look real. If you take a look on the color wheel, bananas are yellow, but I'm mixing a little bit of orange in with it, and I'm mixing a little bit of green in with it. So the colors on my fruit are kind of all connected. That's a good thing. If I take a look at this apple example, apples are mostly red, but in that apple I did mix a little bit of orange, and I even mixed a little bit of purple, believe it or not, to get some of these darker areas. Adding black and brown to your project today is just going to give it a little bit more value. I will tell you with the yellow, adding black, it's going to get dark really fast. So I'm not going to add a lot of black. But I'm going to continue, and when I come back, my banana will be getting all these colors on this banana, and I'm really working on value to make this look like it's rounding. So this banana has some really sharp lines on it of value. So I'm seeing that this bottom has like this orange color, and then it gets lighter. I'm trying to show that in my drawing. And I added a little bit of black, even at the bottom for a shade, to get a little darker value. I see lots of green up here. So I'm to the point where I'm starting to see a reflection. So the light is hitting this banana and getting a glare, and it is even showing up in this video more than I see it. So I'm going to add a little bit of white as my last step, just to kind of add that glare. Now, I do want to think about the table and the background. So if you look at the color wheel, I used purple paper. I think I'm going to try to stick close to that purple paper, and I'm going to go on the sides of it with a blue and a red. So maybe down below I have a blue. And what I'm doing is I'm adding a darker color, so I'm pressing pretty hard around the bottom of the fruit and the edge of the table. And then I'm using the side and I'm kind of just fading it out, and it blends really nicely into my background. I could add a little shade. Little bit of black, maybe a little shadow will help this look even more realistic. And in the background, that other color that was close to purple, so I went one direction to blue, I'm going to go the other direction to red. And I'm going to kind of do the same thing in this background. I'm going to make the color darker by the fruit. And then I'm just going to kind of lightly shade it out. So I'm creating a value in the background without a lot of color, and this value is just fading. So I'm pressing hard by the fruit and fading it into the background. When you are finished, we are going to make sure our name tags have been put on these and they can come up to the table in a pile. There is your still life fruit.